Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I'm smiling because today cheaters are being crushed by Respawn and Apex Legends. A form of cheating which is configs. And we talk about configs, I talk about the extreme versions of them. The auto looting, the stuff that controls recoil on its own, the insane stuff. I have Mari here. He's going to hop in just a moment to debate some of the concerns. I'm going to read this tweet verbatim, which is really, really important. I'm going to have some gameplay in the background. It's not really important. The conversation is important. This is really, really huge, guys. All that neo strafing, all of that. Essentially, when you face somebody who's got good movement, you're going to know that it's legit. So let's read this tweet. Heads up, Legends, we've been rolling out some changes to play Apex to better protect the game's competitive integrity. We're making changes to remove automated strafing on controller, and we'll also be making changes to prevent the chaining of CFG files via the plus exec command during game time. In other words, they're disabling the ability to use some configs that would allow a greater range of movement than is usually possible within the game. Now, I want to make clear that what they're saying here is also the use of third-party tools, hardware, firmware, and software that automates game mechanics for a competitive edge over other Apex players is considered cheating and is unacceptable. I love that. Finally, a statement. This is crazy. I love this. As such, we'll continue to evaluate potential exploits to take further action as needed. This is huge. Now, there are a few things, and that's why I have Mari here. He's obviously probably going to take the same stance as I am, to be honest. But I will say the only concern I have is that I hope that Respawn brings in the ability for controller players to loot while moving, to tap strafe, because my understanding right now is that in the live environment, some people are not able to tap strafe. Now, I think that there needs to be a balance of controller and M&K, and so there is that concern. But I mean, honestly, Mari, right? Everything else pretty much here is cheating, right? I mean, this is crazy to see. I'm just like, I need another outside opinion as well. I know you share the same opinion, but another perspective would be kind of sick. Like your thoughts.
Yeah,
What have we done so far?
yeah. I mean, a lot of this, like the third-party tools, the hardware, firmware, right? What they're talking about there is things like Cronus, Sim, strike packs, that kind of stuff. That it's just straight up cheating. The config files, some of what was capable, not to give away secrets or give people bad ideas, but I mean, there was like a zero recoil script that you could run in your controller configs. It's obviously not intended, right? That's not accessibility. That's just cheating at that point. So I think a lot of this stuff is a really positive change. I do agree with you in that there are some accessibility options that probably should be put in for controller, like being able to revive while you're next to a door or reload while you're next to a door without opening it, for example. Things like that are really difficult on controller compared to mouse and keyboard. So I agree that there's some room for some accessibility, but the cheating elements absolutely had to go. I mean, aim assist is already the compensation for the limitations of controller, right? So if you're going to give controller other things and keep the aim assist, you're effectively giving controller a buff. So bringing some of these things in line was really healthy.
It's crazy because a lot of people, whenever I made my cheating video, didn't understand the extent, and I tried to hit on the head how crazy it is. I mean, we know that Zims have aim assist, like they can kind of kick it in, but people were able to dial in by a dramatic amount. Like it was to the point where it was just egregious, and you're like, oh my god, it's like by 300%. Like they had dials and ways to tune these things, scripts that they can put into recoil to the point where it looked like there was no recoil. That a human person, even a professional player, in 30,000 hours could dream and not even get even close to what some of this hardware was pulling off. It was insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I mean, a lot of things, even like, let's just go with something simple like tap strafing, right? That's maybe not so egregious like a blatant recoil cheat. That the concern with tap strafing, I think, is that when you macro it, you're losing the skill factor of it, right? When a mouse and keyboard player learns how to do it, they have to practice it. It's repetition. It's like, honestly, not to beat a dead horse, because I know this has been said a lot, but it's very similar to the argument for steroids in a competitive sports setting, right? There's health reasons, there's real health reasons that certain drugs are available to certain people, but taking steroids just to get an edge is cheating. And this is no different, right? Like when somebody sits there and practices, it's just like a hockey player that grinds every morning. They're in the gym, they're on the rink skating, they're practicing their shots. And then imagine somebody had rocket skates, to compensate. It's basically that's what was happening here, is by pushing a button, somebody could achieve what somebody else was putting in a lot of effort and
There was a
skill.
config that was you could click one button and it'll just 180, 180, 180, 180. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it. I think also people were the last, because I don't tolerate any cheating whatsoever. I want to point out that when I say cheating as well, by holding people accountable, there's a lot of people who are using a lot of this stuff in tournaments and earning money. And there's a lot of people who are making content and claiming that they don't use any cheats or anything, that are doing this and gaining your money, your donations, taking tournament winnings, taking somebody's hard work away. And taking hard work away when it comes to anything monetary, I think, in my opinion, has to... That's, I mean, somebody was saying earlier in the comment section, it's larceny, you're stealing money. But the problem is that it has to start somewhere. We have to start putting the line in the sand and saying that these things aren't okay somewhere, and just start banning people or banning them to make it harder. Because like when this stuff exists right now, imagine how easy it is to bleed over to competitive. And then when you have a tournament with the ALGS with $2 million on the line, I mean, come on, guys. Let's just be honest. So I'm really happy that this is happening. I didn't want to drag out this video too long, but I feel like people are gonna. I oddly am shocked. People are gonna push back on this, and overall, like online, I don't see any pushback, but I have seen pushback by others saying that it's crazy that they're. I just don't fathom it. I don't understand it. But I'm glad that across the board, we even saw PS5. And that's why I made that short, taking a stance saying that this is not okay anymore. We see Respawn saying it's not okay anymore. We're seeing companies finally making a stand. And granted, my video didn't get a whole lot of views. I like how I'm watching this in real time and it's going up in retweets, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of exposure and discussion around it. I think season 20 of Apex Legends is very hopeful. FPS, I was already concerned at the start of the year. That's why I made my video about it, that I was concerned if FPSs were gonna make it because people cheat so much, to be honest.
And it's not just competitive, right? I know we're trying to keep this short, but just to get this in, like, it's also just damaging to the game, the health of the game and the company overall, whether it's in a tournament setting or not. It's negatively impacting the player base in many ways. And so, this honestly, like, this could be its own podcast almost. Like that's the kind of length of discussion we could have about that. By the way, like and comment below if you want us to have a very lengthy discussion more in depth with our thoughts here, because this is short. But yeah,
it's true. We should probably wrap it up. But you're right. Yeah. Where it's, and before people say go outside, go touch grass. Listen, we all have families. I work a day job. I do other stuff besides this. And there's a lot of money in this, okay? There's a reason why people cheat and do this kind of stuff, because as much as you may not believe there's money in this, people are walking away with cash in their hands, all right? And maybe you haven't figured out how to make money, but people are cheating and making money off this. And that's what's the reality. When game development companies are struggling to get their games kicked off, like even the finals and others because of cheaters and Apex, I mean, now we're looking at real dollars. We're looking at millions of dollars going on. And it's just like, guys, I mean, at the end of the day, what keeps the world going around? Money. I like money. And we all like money, okay? We all like money. Everybody likes money. Nobody can deny that. So we could say, you can yell at me and say, go touch grass. But I mean, everyone's trying to touch that green at the end of the day, right? Hey, look what I did there. That's kind of clean, right?
Hey.
All right, but yeah, seriously, guys, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, Mario, for actually hopping in and giving another, thoughts. And even if it is the same thoughts, I mean, listen, it doubles down on this. It's serious.
Reinforcement. Yep.
All right, guys, we'll see you guys on the next one.
See ya.